Gibbo presents.
It's Gibbo, and right now I'm joined by Sing J and proud representative of the Virgin Islands. It is Pressure Busspipe. Pressure, wagwan.
Rastafari, love. Big up yourself, my brother. One love.
As we speak, you're set to release your second album this year, Africa Redemption, on September the 16th. Am I right in thinking this album was originally supposed to be released back in 2012?
Yeah, 2012, 2013, yes.
And what was the reason for not releasing it then?
Well, we still needed to get some things done, making sure that we had the right avenues. And the album was basically trying to get it out there on a different level. So it took some time, and then I decided I'm going to start another project because you don't know, it was been more than almost 4 years since my last release of an album. So I was more like desperate to get something out now. So I went back to the Virgin Islands and recorded the sound, and we released that within a 3-4 months, 5 months span. And we got that out, and which gave us some great reviews as well. But nevertheless, Africa Redemption is still a great, powerful album that has been greatly anticipated by many. Yeah.
Have you altered any of the tracks or added anything to the album since 2012?
We have recorded more tracks. Yes, I must say, yeah.
So how many of the tracks on the final album were added in recent months?
Recent months, after we added the track with Chronics, and at least one other track. But for the most part, we recorded over 20-something songs for the album. Some that were released as what you call for jugglings. Like we had the Captain Rhythm, that went out. We had the Badadan Rhythm, which was a song that was one of the recordings to be possibly used for the album. So it was a lot of songs that we just said, all right, we're just going to use those for juggling, and we're going to use these for the album. So, yeah.
When I've spoken to other artists in the past, some have mentioned the danger of oversaturating the market with their music. Do you think it's possible for an artist to release too much material? And if you do you think there's any danger of this happening with you releasing an album just 5 months after your last one?
Well, honestly, I think that, reggae music is more than just, for me, it's more than just bread and butter, but it's the food of the mind and the spirit and the soul. And the people that support reggae music and support the message, the true message that reggae music has to offer, you could never get enough. It's like, how can you get enough of Jah love? You know what I mean? And when you get music that carries a certain substance in music, in reggae music, especially on a lyrical content, you will never get enough. You always want more and more and more. And I think that I have a great fan base that is always looking out for what's the next pressure. Even though if I just released something last week, they're like, okay, we love that. We played that all week. What do you have coming next? People always want new things. They always want good music, and there is a thing when you saturate the market with a lot of music, but a lot of what? You saturate it with a lot of nothing, then you get nothing. You saturate it with a lot of something, then you get something. You understand? So people want good, and Pressure Busspipe is here to give the people good music. And from now until as much as I can, because as long as the sun shines, I have to keep writing songs, I have to keep singing songs, and, that's just how my life is set. Yeah.
And of course, you could also argue that it makes sense to capitalize on the success of the sounds and strike while the iron's hot and your stock price is high.
Well, definitely. Africa Redemption is definitely an album that takes the sound on a whole different level. you know, and the sound is a very classical album, very powerful and inspirational album. The Africa Redemption now is like battlefield, you know. It's more like it's an album that carries so many different aspects. You know, we have romantic songs, we have songs for the ladies as well. On the sound, we didn't have any songs for the ladies, you know, so I'm reconnecting with the female audience in Africa Redemption, and the warriors them and the empresses, and you know, all the kingdom, and it's more inspirational, you know, and for some songs can get really deep, you know, into the culture or the belief of Rastafari and what we see the world is today. So Africa Redemption holds a very strong foundation when it comes to the roots and culture and revolution of reggae music, you know.
It's a pretty powerful and thought-provoking title. Can you explain why you chose it?
Well, Africa Redemption was the title because we wanted to more reach out to the continent of Africa and liberating Africans home and abroad, you know, and I think that the album has done that. Well, it hasn't been released as well, but I think that we who have worked on the album are satisfied with the direction in that title, Africa Redemption. We're very satisfied about that, you know what I mean?
The featured artists on the album are Chronix, Damien Jr. Gong Marley, Taurus Riley, and Jamason. Is it a coincidence that they're all Rasta artists, or was that an intentional move on your part?
Well, definitely it was intentional. You know, we work with people who we see are serious about the movement and not just about trying to make a dollar tomorrow. You know, people who sing with passion and have done great works from the beginning of their career up until now. You know, Pressure Busspipe, my music, it means a lot, and what I push out to the atmosphere. So the people who I invite to be a part of my movement are people that I see carry the same passion and movement and respect for what the music is worth, you know? Yeah.
Did Baby G produce all the tracks on the album, or did he just executively produce the album as a whole?
Well, the album consists of different musicians and stuff like that. You know, he produced most of the album. We have productions from Titimus, also from Paul, who is the keyboardist of Junior Gang, and it's a great vibes. It's the whole thing is, and Baby G basically executive produced the whole album and make sure it stayed in the direction that we started out for it to go. You know, so definitely he's the one who makes sure of that.
Your last album, The Sound, debuted at number 5 in the Reggae Albums Billboard chart, which was a great achievement. Did this come as a surprise to you, and are you expecting Africa Redemption to make an appearance in the Billboard Reggae chart too?
Yes, I'm definitely expecting. I have great expectations for Africa Redemption, just as I did with The Sound. You know, anything that I put my work towards and my heart towards, I have great expectations. You know, sometimes we just have to do what our heart feels, you know. And the music, I think right now there's a revival happening and people are more excited to hear what's good and what they can be uplifted by in a reggae music, you know. So we give thanks that, you know, we can be on the battlefield to do that. And Africa Redemption will not drop the levels nor go below the bar, you know, of The Sound. It's definitely that, or even on a higher level to the maximum.
Recently, you performed on the Wendy Williams Show, and an interview with you was also posted on CNN.com. Did you notice an increase in sales of your music or your following on social media after these recent features?
Yes, I definitely did. You know, of course, you know, Wendy Williams is a wide national audience of over 4 million listeners. And, you know, it was a great experience. A lot more people started to look towards the music and see who is Pressure Busspipe and what Pressure Busspipe has to offer, especially being on CNN. So we definitely have a lot of things going great for us. And, you know, I just give thanks for everything that has been going on, especially for the strength that the Virgin Islands tourism has been putting behind Pressure Busspipe, you know? Yeah.
If I'm correct, your appearance on the Wendy Williams Show tied in with a month-long feature she was doing on the Virgin Islands, but I would assume that you weren't expecting the invites. Can you tell me what you were doing when you received the call to appear on the show and what your reaction was?
Well, I mean, of course, it was a great reaction, you know, just to know that you'll be performing in national TV. You know, I'm a content person. I'm humble and I'm not excited over things. You know, I'm just to the point where I'm like, okay, if it's gonna happen, let's make it happen. You know, I'm ready to do whatever the most I put in front of me. I'm always ready to do it. So my excitement is always when I'm there and actually doing it. You know what I mean? That's the fullness of the whole thing to me. So a talk of something happening is like, yeah, I give thanks, that would be great. But the excitement is actually there when I'm on the stage performing and seeing the faces of the people, seeing the crowd reaction and knowing that people out there are enjoying themselves. It's always a great thing. And a lot of people have been in tune more with the music. You know, I'm getting a lot more responses from people all over the globe. So I'm truly grateful.
Many people would assume that it would be harder for a reggae artist from the Virgin Islands to achieve international success and recognition to, say, an artist who was located in Jamaica. Could you tell me how hailing from the Virgin Islands has helped and hindered your musical career?
Well, I think that, you know, Jamaica is a place where reggae music, that's like the mecca for reggae music. It's the headquarters for reggae music. And it happens anywhere. It's like if you're trying to do calypso music, everybody in the world know that Trinidad is the mecca and that for calypso music, that's where calypso was started. So when people want to hear that music, people go for authenticity. They go to where it was created, who are the founders of this music. So it's not by will or by force that these things happen. But what happens is that when the music becomes a great music and people all over the world become inspired by it, there are going to be little seeds that sprout out from these places in the world. And these seeds are going to be great seeds. They're going to turn out to be the greatest tree that you've ever seen. You know, and these seeds are going to be planted all over in places that you least expect. And to say this to the world, one of those seeds were planted in the Virgin Islands. And that seed is called Pressure Busspipe. You understand? I have studied reggae music. I've studied the culture of Jamaican music and the culture of the people and the way they speak, the way they talk, the way they address people. I've studied all of that over the years because the music has interested me so much that it inspired me to want to become an artist. You understand? I was a musician. I used to play drums, trumpet, steel pan, and all different sorts of things. But reggae music did something to my heart that not even playing an instrument did. You understand? I played sports. None of that did what reggae music did for me. So I took it very seriously. And more so, even more seriously than people living in Jamaica, you know, because I've traveled places and used my own resources to get myself places, you know, and it could be hefty on a lot of people, but those were the sacrifices that I made to make sure that I fulfill my dreams and my aspirations. I had a job working for the government, you know, I had benefits where I would take care of my children. If anything happens to me, my kids and all of that would be taken care of. I quit the government because I said I don't want to work for nobody. I want to work for myself. I want to work and do the Most High work so that where my benefits, the benefits for my children would be in the hands of the Most High through the works of me. So I always kept the Most High near in everything that I do. So pursuing that, I always knew that I always had that foundation that if I wanted to do reggae music and I kept myself in a divinity within the Most High, not talking about killing people, robbing or stealing and doing derogatory things to people, disrespecting the woman them, you know, all those sorts of things, that my blessing would be taken away from me. So I kept the music clean. I kept the music pure and fine, so that when people hear Pressure Busspipe, they're feeling joyful. They can relax and enjoy, because I can't come into reggae music that has done so much good for me, inspirational, and come into reggae music and try to stray people and disrespect people, and because I would be ungrateful to what reggae music has taught me. So I use all my God-fearing ways and things like that to really be perseverant, to be determined, and to never let nothing get me down. Is one door closed, another one must open. So those things I keep along with and remaining divine. And next thing you know, I sing songs, and people all over the world, they say, yeah, Pressure Busspipe is from Jamaica. He has to be a Jamaican singing reggae music, especially sounding like that. You understand? That shows that I'm doing reggae music well. I'm doing it to the best of my ability, and people all over the world can recognize that Pressure is an authentic and quality reggae artist. Yeah.
Do you think your authenticity was questioned in the early part of your career? Did you have to fight harder to prove yourself, being that you hail from the Virgin Islands?
No. The thing about it is that only people that really know me and grew up with me would know that I was born in the Virgin Islands. Because the minute I got to Jamaica and people heard my voice, Virgin Islands was very far from their mind. They thought I was from Standpipe, because I used to hang out there a lot, when I first got to Jamaica. So many people were thinking I'm from Standpipe in Jamaica, and then when I started to say I was born in St. Thomas, they would think I'm from St. Thomas in Jamaica. So people would always try to connect me to Jamaica, and it would always be a hard thing for them to believe that I was born out of Jamaica because of the quality and the authenticity of the music.
You're very active on social media. Can you compare the early part of your career before the explosion of Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to today? Tell me how things have changed for you. Presumably, you find it a lot easier to connect with your fans these days?
No, sometimes you have to realize that no man is an island and you can't do it all by yourself. So sometimes you have to involve people with great ideas who can help you boost your creativity, boost your social media. It's always a great thing to work with people who are serious on that end. So yeah, you always need a team, a strong team, most definitely.
So the team helps manage some of your social media duties?
Definitely. I also manage my own social media. I answer all messages. All messages are left for me to reply to. I post stuff as well. I connect with the fans as much as I can, but when it comes to actually promoting Pressure as the artist, somebody else has that seat.
You're an independent artist, and I've heard you speak before about the importance of creative control when it comes to your music. Taking this into account and looking to the future, is signing with a major label or even the likes of VP a goal of yours? And is it still as advantageous for an artist to sign with a major label today as it once was?
Well, let me explain. Like, the internet right now is so open to everybody to promote themselves. Like, once you know how to utilize the internet online and different services, you can get your music out there and promote yourself. Once you have good product and promote yourself well, you can do very well because everybody is using the same sources, and it's always great. I mean, of course, to be signed to a big label, you get big advance, you have a bigger budget to promote your music. It's always a great thing, but you have to remain, at some point you have to remain some control, have that control or say in your creativity and actually in your career, because you as an artist have visions of what you want to do with your life, you understand? And the minute you sign over yourself to a big label, it's possible that you might lack creativity in that situation, and creativity to me is worth more than money, because I think that my freedom to create is great for me. I know that I create great stuff and can create greater stuff.
you know. So to have that minimized, you know, by somebody else over me because they're giving me money, you know, I think I'm not a fond of that. But also, it's also a great thing to have a big company sponsoring you and giving you a bigger budget to promote yourself and go out there and, you know, do great things.
So if the right offer came along, you would be interested as long as you still had creative control over the content you put out?
Of course.
Like many people, I've seen the videos online from some of the I-Grade Dub live shows that you've been a part of. I-Grade Dub in the fish market, the rainforest, and so on. Can you explain what the energy and the vibe is like at one of these events, and tell me how it differs from a regular stage show?
Yeah, well, the dub is, the energy in the Virgin Islands is high. From the dub on the beach, the dub on the, you know, people are very energetic about it. The people that come out to the concerts, to the dub in the rainforest are in numbers. You know, we have like over 700 people every time, which is a greatly fair amount, you know, for that event. You know, the dub that TP created, well, it hasn't been created by TP, but in these times what we're doing is actually putting artists to sing behind dub music, you know, which TP has been doing that a lot in the Virgin Islands and has started that back in these times, you know. So it's something where he would, you know, it's like a band, it's like the next thing best next to a band, you know. When we say TP, bass alone, bass and drum, you know, he can be able to do that with the dub. So it's a high feeling, and, you know, to be able to sing the songs in a dub style fashion, it's nice. It's always nice.
Lastly, just before I let you go, obviously we have the new album Africa Redemption, but is there anything else we need to look out for in the remainder of 2014? Videos, tours, other projects, anything in the pipeline?
Well, we're definitely planning a couple tours back over in Europe. We plan to head back over there as well. We're looking into touring Africa and the West Coast, you know. So we have music videos getting ready to hit the streets, as well as we're getting ready to start shooting some music videos. You can look forward to seeing the music video with Pressure, Busspipe, Taurus Riley, Junior Gang. You know, we plan to shoot that very soon. So we have so much great things in store. So just keep your eyes and your ears open.
Africa Redemption, available on September the 16th. I will certainly be purchasing a copy. I suggest everyone listening to this interview does to Pressure. Thanks a lot for your time.
Much love.
Gibbo.